Hello friends, welcome back to Cooking It Up with Miss Liz on the Piper Peach Radio here in Clinton, Alabama. So glad to have you join us. Today we are making blueberry pecan pancakes, which is a fun, easy, doable, and in our family gluten-free option, which I'm trying to make affordable and not too complicated to get the ingredients for. Our flour base is just Quaker Oats, old-fashioned. These are sourced from Save More Associated Foods down the road from us on 31 here in Clinton, and they have excellent quality products. These are what we're using for our flour. And so you see the whole rolled oats like this, but we have my husband's coffee grinder, which he is just so thrilled with me using as a flour grinder, especially when I forget to clean it. So here we go. We'll put probably just about, I don't know, 3/4 of a cup in the coffee grinder, if you can see that. And then set it to grind. And this makes, I'll wait till I'm done making noise. Come on. All right. That's a little coarse, but it'll do the job. This makes gluten-free flour, oatmeal, easy, cheap. My kind of food right here. Okay. Mixing bowl. Toss it in. Okay, so next, after we have our oat flour in the mixing bowl, this is a single mixing bowl dish, so easy cleanup as well. We have some fresh milk from this morning, and we have a jingle for it if you'd like to hear it. It is, "Don't have a cow, you'll hear them say, but we have a cow and life's better this way. You need a cow, go get her today. Give her some water and plenty of hay." So there's your milk. And then I like to put a little vanilla for flavor. This is also from Save More Associated Foods down the road. Just a bit, that's probably a teaspoon. Don't quote me on that, but a little extra is just more vanilla flavor, which I don't mind. If I was doing things the right way, I would have put my dry ingredients first, but since I'm just doing things the casual way, we're gonna spice it after we put the liquids in. It would have been ideal to do it all dry first and then wet ingredients. Do that. But in the meantime, nutmeg, cinnamon. Don't go too heavy-handed again on the nutmeg. This is a strong one, so it's just too much flavor if you go too much on it. So just do a little bit. Cinnamon, I do put a lot. That's probably 2 teaspoons worth. And then ginger powder, about 1 teaspoon worth. Come on out. You got this. And that just gives your pancakes a really nice kick, spice. I did get powdered cloves this time instead of the whole crunchy ones, which is helpful. Cloves are also a super strong flavor you don't want to overdo, so just a little shake of those. And this is a fancy one, cardamom, which is just, keep it light-handed on that one as well, but that just gives it that well-rounded spice flavor profile. Okay, so at this point, we will whisk in our milk and our spices, and that'll kind of start them working together and making your flavors meld. I like to put a little bit of raw local Kegel family honey from Save More Associated Foods in the batter, just for extra flavor. We'll use it as topping as well. Instead of maple syrup, I like honey and butter. But you're welcome to use maple syrup if you prefer. All right, so that's probably about a tablespoon of honey. And, eggs. These are, again, from Andy and Becca Williams at Bootsy's Coop Farm, is what their farm name is. I had failed to mention that last time, but there it is, Bootsy's Coop. Look them up they're on Facebook and Instagram, I believe. And these are their rainbow beautiful eggs. In fact, they mix in guinea hen eggs, which are harder to crack and pretty exciting. But I'm not going to attempt that on this show because I don't want to make a mess. But these big, beautiful, dark orange yolk, it's another green one. I put 2 to 3 eggs, depending on the consistency you're going for, in these blueberry pancakes. And you just crack them. And in there, I'll put that in our compost bowl, the shells. I may stick with 2 since this is a small batch, and I'll put that third one back. And there's our eggs. We'll start working them in, also to get those spices spread out and working in the batter for flavor. Okay, and that's just beautiful. It's yellowing up with those dark orange yolks, which is pretty. All right, these are some pecan halves, and you can see I have soaked them in water overnight. I set them to soak last night. This is maybe an unfamiliar practice to some, but any food that is also a seed has some chemicals in it to keep it from rotting in the ground before it's time to grow, which can be irritating to the digestive system. So to minimize that, to minimize inflammation in the body, we soak the nuts, and you can see this brown color in the water that they've been soaking in is full of these chemicals that have now leached into the water, and that also wakes the seed up and it starts to germinate, and so you have more oils in the nut, so you have more flavor, and there's a bit of sugar that wakes up as the nut comes to life. So it's just more beneficial health-wise. So I'm going to go ahead and drain and rinse these, and I'll be right back. All right, we have our rinsed and drained nuts, pecans, and they're ready to go. I use about, I don't know, 3/4 of a cup, and these I like to chop. If I'm using them raw, I can smash them, but these are just softer and easier to chop to work with. So we're doing that, and we'll throw these in the batter. And in the meantime, we'll get our heat going. I think I did that backwards. Oh well. Okay. Those are nicely chopped, bite-sized, sprouted nuts. Okay, pecans. And I don't sprout all nuts because some get mushy, like walnuts you don't want to do because they get that mushy texture. But pecans and almonds are really good choices for sprouting. It just enlivens the nutrients, and it's easy to do. You just soak them. I think it's minimum 3 hours you want to do soaking nuts, and then I usually do it overnight if I can. All right, so those nuts are worked in. We got eggs, milk, oat flour, and I'm going to dump in. These were just picked this morning, blueberries. And we'll give those a stir, and we're going to wait so you can see blueberry pecan pancake batter. And you can see how easy that was, all went in one bowl. So I don't have to spend 2 years cleaning up, which is good. Ladle, waiting on the heat. And you both cook with butter, but you also want to add in a little extra butter into your batter, which will draw out all your good flavors of the spices and just kind of work into the batter and make it softer. So we're going to put some butter in the pan to melt. And then once it's melted, I'll pour some off into the batter and whisk that in. And then I'll fry the pancakes in the hot pan with the butter as well. So double butter. Can't go wrong. All right. Oh, I forgot salt. I'll just add a little bit of that in as well. I think our butter is salted, but a little salt is a good thing. And we'll whisk that. And that looks so good. Okay. Okay. That's that. How are we doing on our heat? Pretty good. And probably do, that's about 3 tablespoons of butter. 2 or 2.5 will go in the batter. And then the rest will coat the pan to fry the pancakes in. And that's getting nice and hot. You want to let your pan get hot so that when you pour your pancakes, you hear just a sizzle. That's important for the crusting of the pancakes and the just the texture that you'll expect from them will be better if the pan is hot to start out. And they'll kind of stay little. If it's not hot, they tend to spread out more, and you don't want that. So make sure your pan's hot. And we're gonna melt this butter. It's getting warmer, and then once that works in, come on. We'll whisk it into the batter. Turn that up just a bit. Okay. Might have to edit out the last like whole minute of melting butter. Okay. All right, our butter's melted now, and we're gonna see I have a excess pool of butter there. I like that, and we're gonna jazz up our batter with some freshly melted good butter. And then our pan is nicely coated with the leftover butter, and I think I will use the whisk to work it in just so it can incorporate into the batter and soften it. Blueberry pecan pancakes. And when possible, I love to get locally grown pecans. Save More Associated Foods will carry local goods from time to time seasonally, so check there. They also have the Best Choice brand, in-house brand, so they'll have what you need. Okay, and then the blueberries. Everyone grows blueberries around here, so you can find them. Any fruit stand this time of year will have them. Just about. Okay, that's hot enough. And soup ladle. My kids like to use a smaller ladle. I like them to use a smaller ladle because it limits the size of the pancake. You don't want to completely cover your entire frying pan in one pancake like you would with this ladle. So you want to maybe quarter to a third full, this ladle. We have a 1 ounce ladle at home that I should have brought, but we will live through this big ladle problem. First world problems is what they say about that, okay? So you want to make sure you kind of draw from the bottom so you get adequate pecans and blueberries in your pancake. They just make double sure that's hot enough. Yep, doing okay. All right. All right, I don't know if you could hear that, but we got a sizzle. Probably not as much as I wanted. I got excited. All right, we have waited just another minute for our pan to get really hot. I jumped the gun on the last one. So our last pancake is about ready to flip. And you'll see little bubbles come up in the center if you haven't flipped pancakes before. That's when you know. And so I'm gonna get an even scoop of blueberries and nuts, kind of drawing up from the bottom of the batter. Not as loud as I wanted, but I did hear a sizzle. Okay, I hope you heard it. And, okay, here we go. So we're gonna let those get to bubbling point. I'm gonna flip that first one so you can see. And, oh, those warm berries get really flavorful when you cook them like this. Okay, and you can kind of see they make the pancake a fun color. So, you can see that berry flavor seeping through, and the nuts and berries have a really complementary flavor together. All right, so, hey, I didn't rip that one. Good. Let's hope for the best with the next. All right. We can start to make for topping, while we're waiting on these, it is fun to make cinnamon honey butter. And you put a little vanilla in, and you want softened to room temperature butter, ideally. I think we can work with this. But you'll want to kind of break up the butter into chunks. Pour a little of this local raw honey from the Kegel family at Save More, Associated Foods on 31. And you just drizzle it around. We'll mix that up in a minute, don't worry. Cinnamon, nope, wrong one, nutmeg. So there's cinnamon. Cinnamon goes in. And just kind of set that over. If you want to get fancy and put more pecans, I might do that just to show off. And a little vanilla. And then, depending on if you have salted butter or not, you'll want to add some salt. I'll do a little extra. Okay. And then while those are getting flippable, we're going to make our cinnamon honey butter with a little vanilla in it, and that'll make a really nice topping for these pancakes when they're ready to serve. Oh, yep, that's good. Okay. All right. That is going to be so nice. Okay, that's our topping. And your kids are probably going to want more honey than that, so be prepared. Get some extra. Oh, let's see if I can do it. Oh, yeah. Oh, he ripped it a little bit. I got to watch the Karate Kid again to get my flipping down. Okay. Oh, that one went all right. Maybe I should limit the sound effects. Okay. Here we go. All right, and you can see that beautiful berry flavor coming through. We're gonna let those sit a minute. Sometimes you can press them if they're looking wrinkled or uneven, just to even out the cooking time. All right, these pancakes are ready to plate up and serve. Flip coins for the bigger ones for your kids if they're gonna fight over them, because mine do. Okay, and here we have them. All right. It's a beautiful mess. It's a mess, but it's a beautiful one. Okay, and here we have, oh, yep, that's good. Get those last berries. Don't forget to turn your skillet off. That is public service announcement. Oh, okay. So we've got our beautiful blueberry pecan pancakes, and while we are topping them, I can tell you about the old Amish furniture store down County Road 37 that sells handmade, beautiful wooden furniture you can now eat your pancakes in. So please check them out. They do a great job. Okay, so butter, honey, cinnamon, vanilla mixed together in here, and this is gonna go all over the top of these pancakes and make them so good. I'm gonna melt that a little more and spread it around. And that may not be quite enough sweetness on top, so don't hesitate to put some more honey over top of those. And this again is proudly produced right around here, so that's a neat thing to feature on the show. And I believe the Little family is actually related to the Kegel family. I just found out, so make sure and get this. It's good. We, my friends, are going to enjoy. Let's see. How'd we do? Just fine. Okay. Thank you for joining us today. Please check us out on the Piper Peach radio station website, which is piperpeachradio.com. We also have an app available on Google Play or your app store. And we have a Facebook page. So you can access our recipes and opportunities to sponsor or advertise for our shows. And please be in touch, and we'll see you next time. Thank you so much.